What is going on, everybody? Nasdorachi coming back at you again today with another episode for Dragon Ball Legends. And we have a couple of things we're going to be talking about today. As per the background, you can see Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Baby Vegeta were both teased about like 12 to 15 hours ago. So we're going to very quickly look at that and discuss what little information we have so far. And then we're going to jump into the 5 best or 4.5 best teams that you can be using for the Legends Battle Royale. And I will have some footage of my first 3 matches playing. 2 of them were not super good, and 1 of them went actually fairly well, you guys. And I don't mean that in a negative way on my end, but you'll see. So, we do have the Super Saiyan 4 Goku coming to the game. Super hype. Personally, I do love Dragon Ball GT, even though it has a little bit of a rocky start for the first 26 episodes. The Black Star Saga was a little bit wonky, but after that it picked up and Nakatsuru took over, and he did a great job in my personal opinion. I know that it is an official side story now, but it is in line with the licensed and official Dragon Ball universe, so again, I love when these characters do show up. We do also have the campaign to get the power level up. I don't remember what the requirement was, but we broke 50 billion, so everybody's getting 40 summon tickets sometime tonight, tomorrow, once the day rotates over to the 14th, and 2 SP guaranteed tickets. That's good right there, but it'll probably be Captain Ginyu and like Pikkon for me. But hopefully you guys have amazing luck on those summons that you do right there. And again, Legends Battle Royale is going on. We'll cover that in a minute. But for now, let's bring this full screen and start it over here. Yes, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So they played a little homage to Goku here. It's all up to my fists. Starts off when he's a kid with Demon King Piccolo, then he graduates and gets a little bit older. They're kind of doing a little timeline here to really kind of tease the heck out of this. And Kaioken Goku versus Vegeta in the Saiyan saga. And it doesn't go through Super for a reason. They just transition right from like Frieza and Super Saiyan here. But I wonder, do they show Super Saiyan 3 versus Majin Buu in this nice little history timeline? Well, they got Majin Vegeta and Super Saiyan 2 Goku here. And they got the halo over his head. They're using that yellow one, whose hair never really looked right to me in this game. Spirit Bomb versus Kid Buu with the legendary finish. Okay, well they didn't show Super Saiyan 3 directly, but we now get the Super Saiyan 4. I'm stronger now. Into Super Saiyan 4, whose art does look amazing, you guys. I am all for it. And the confirmation of Super Baby Vegeta right there. Looks like the ultimate arts technique times 10 Kamehameha. And they are staying true to the series, you guys. If we look at this here like one more time, we can kind of scroll through it. And it is and of course, the Baby Saga Super Saiyan 4, which is double confirmed by the blue color of his Kamehameha. Starting from like Super 17 onwards, this Kamehameha will start to take a red hue. So I personally like the red one a little bit better. But out of all of the Super Saiyan 4 Gokus to get a legendary finish, I think that this one would be the one, you guys. Now hear me out on that, just because the Super 17 Saga one doesn't get the finish. He actually goes back to Kid Goku, and we see that with the Ultimate Arts technique of the GT base form Kid Goku. So that version wouldn't get one, logistically speaking. And during the Shadow Dragons arc, Goku Super Saiyan 4 also doesn't have any real epic finish moments. Now, he does use the times 10 Kamehameha into a Golden Dragon Fist against Shin Shenron, I believe. Could be Omega Shenron at that point. Kind of forget, a little bit dusty there. But it doesn't hurt the dragon, so there's no actual finish there. It just kind of stuns him for a little bit, and then they're on to the next part of the fight where Goku's getting beat up again until they fuse. So what I think is, if they're going to give Super Saiyan 4 Goku and a legendary finish, the 1 versus Baby again would be the most logical one, because that's the Super Saiyan 4 Goku that actually does kill an enemy and win in a legendary fashion. The Shadow Dragons arc LF, I would think, would go to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta with the times 100 Big Bang Kamehameha. So again, that's just theory. We don't know if this is going to be a Legends Rising banner because we haven't had one of those in a little while, with just maybe Super Baby Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Could just be Legends Rising. It might not be time for another step up yet. We do remember that last year we did get a step up banner for New Year's. So this is coming out on the 21st. So a good little bit even before Christmas. It's very interesting, you guys. I have a feeling it might be a Legends Rising banner, but that's about all we can get from that, you guys. Until we get more previews or more data, we can tell that he probably has an Ultimate Arts technique. Whether or not it'll be a legendary finish, we do not know yet. But again, I do believe this would be the time to see that, comparatively speaking to Super Saiyan 4 Goku's again in other parts of GT. That is about all we had for the actual previews of Super Saiyan 4 Goku, guys. I'm sure you saw them. We did a little bit of theorizing there, but it would also be a great time for them to introduce the Golden Ape Baby Vegeta Ozaru co-op boss battle. I think that would be a great idea for a raid if they incorporated that. That would be big-brained moves on part of the devs. I think that would, again, be an excellent raid battle for co-op. The next part of information we have to go over here is going to be the best possible teams you could be running for the Legends Battle Royale mode, or Battle Royale. I know they spell it Royal, so we'll just go with that. Now, of course, you can run, pretty much whatever team you're good with, but you want to make sure you make the most out of all of your synergy. Of course, because all of your units are upgraded to 14 stars, you will be able to maximize on Z ability buffs. So our top 5 teams that we're covering here, ones that you ideally should be running that are at the top of the meta right now, are going to be Fusions, Lineage of Evil. Then this is not necessarily in order, you guys, but Fusions is probably the best team for LBR mode. With Fusions, Lineage of Evil, Movies, and then 2 different variations of God Key depending on what you have available. So the Fusions team, you can see, is red right here. Can we make this any bigger? We go full screen with it. I'm going to be blocking some of it, but alright, we'll just go over it until I have to move it here. So the Fusions team, red here, with Gogeta and Vegito and Super Vegito, you're going to have a monstrously defensive team with a lot of damage output as well. Remember that at 7 stars, or 14 stars now, the Super Vegito is going to get the triple Z ability buff. So he's going to be having a lot of, strike, attack, and defense, and then like 12% to health. When you combine him on the bench with the yellow Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, you're looking at 32% buff to all of your fusion characters' health, which is huge, you guys. That is a ton of free health right there. Then you combine all the other insane passives, like the defensive ones that you have being thrown out by the base form Vegito. You have attack again coming from Super Vegito, the health from Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, double attack buff from purple base Super Saiyan 1 Gotenks, and then you have, of course, the blue Gogeta, whose blast damage doesn't really fit the strike damage motif of the rest of the team, but it is okay, you guys. The rest of the buffs clearly will make up for that. We'll go over the builds with the gameplay up as well, and there's a little bit of a kicker. You could run the green Super 17 to get advantage of having a reasonable green unit, or you could just bench the old red Gogeta for even more Z ability buffs. And that's what this chart is based around here, having the red Gogeta and the purple Super Saiyan 1 Gotenks on the bench. So you'll see they have a really nice chart, very high strike attack and defense, but their blast attack and defense is suffering a little bit. Next up we have the Vegeta God Key team, this chart right here in the top middle, with Vegeta, the new LF at 7 stars, and all the other units on the team at 7 stars. This team puts out such an absurd amount of strike damage, it's unreal. Now, this version of the team, you do not run Whis, you do not run the EX Beerus, you do not run Green Beerus. You're looking at the main lineup being the purple Super Saiyan God Vegeta, the yellow Super Saiyan God Kaioken Goku, the LF Vegeta, and then the blue Super Saiyan God Goku, with on the bench the red base form Goku and the red haired God Vegeta. Sorry, the yellow color on that one. They are both great bench units and will give you health, crit, strike attack, and strike defense, and then all the other characters on the team are going to have really powerful stats as well. That team is extremely scary, you guys. Probably the second best team you could run next to the Fusions team. Next up here we have Lineage of Evil. This is honestly probably one of the weaker teams that you could run. They don't have much defense outside of full power Frieza, who's your best Rising Rush defender option. And then the purple Cooler, just his raw defensive stats will really help. This team does do great damage to any God Key or Fusions teams. It'll struggle against Movies teams, and I mean, you have to play it well. It's got a really good amount of offensive power, but it can be overwhelmed quite easily by Movies locking out the Cooler, Movies Gohan locking out the Cooler. There's many other ways that the Lineage of Evil team can get really messed up. So it's a very high risk, high reward team. Again, very high damage to Saiyans, but it struggles against some of the other matchups against Bojack, Tapion, the Gohan Movies team really will hurt it. And the overwhelming stats of Fusions is not really good for LOE either to contend with. So LOE probably the worst. Next up, we have the Beerus version of God Key, which is going to be running most likely the EX Beerus, the Whis, the Green Beerus against Super Saiyan God Blue Goku, probably the purple Vegeta, maybe Super Saiyan Kaioken Goku, the God Super Saiyan God Blue Kaioken Goku. But we can look at that in a second here. Actually, let's see what's on the dockets here. So Beerus EX, Whis, yep, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, purple Vegeta, and God Goku on the bench. So that's going to be your Beerus-centric version. It's going to be making the most usage out of the swaps between the Whis and the two Beeruses, and it's going to have good color counters for a lot of matchups you're going to run into. Not a super great answer for the red Tapion or the red Goku Black Rosé with this team, but for pretty much everything else, you'll have good color matchups, good buffs, reasonably good healing, and good defensive stats as well. Just remember, the free 14 stars on all these characters makes these teams much more viable for this version than they would be in just regular ranked. But again, God Key with the LF Vegeta is going to be the way to go because the new tackle is pretty oppressive against any type of blast meta. So you'll definitely be wanting to go with that strike option if you can. Then the very last team on the charts, which is also one of the really good teams to use, is Movies. Again, you can see very high strike attack on the chart. Actually, you can't see because it's behind me. Haha. So we'll move it over here. You can see Movies right here down in the corner here. I wonder if we can kind of zoom in and make it a little bigger there. Excellent. So Movies, of course, having lots of strike attack, lots of utility. This game gives Movies the best utility on swapping and locking out of any other team. Of course, the red-based Vegeta's got the same lock, but the Gohan can make better use of it with his second main after using his lock. Vegeta only has one main ability, the Gohan has two. His is by default better unless, you know, he's squaring up against a red unit. But besides that right there, utility out the booty hole with the Movies team, but relatively low defenses. You really only have that yellow Gohan before he transforms as your defensive unit. So this team is mostly offense. You can run it with Tapion if you do have him to add some offensive utility and ways to just kind of screw the enemy up. I don't unfortunately have him, so I'm still running it with the transforming Vegeta. But we'll go ahead and we'll show you guys builds of all these teams real quick before my phone battery dies, and we'll have some footage of my first 3 matches running as well. So let's go ahead and close out the charts. Is there anything else we need to see here? I will post this information on my Twitter, you guys, if you want to download the image just to check it out. This is mainly just the raw stats and the Z ability buff comparison and charts of these 5 best team variants you could run for the mode here for Legends Battle Royale. Alright, let's get out of that. Let's bring up some gameplay here. I know my phone is at 9% battery, you guys, so bear with me here. We'll have to get through this part relatively quick, and then we'll have the gameplay of my fights playing somewhere in there as well. So let's go into PvP here, check out the LBR mode, even though I don't have any tickets left. and then we can go to our teams in here and check them out. So of course, the best team that you could probably run is going to be the Fusions team with this specific layout right here that you see. Of course, again, you can sub out the Super 17 for the original red Gogeta. Just leave him on the bench. You'll sacrifice green coverage for additional Z ability buffs. I believe strike, attack, and defense is what he gives, but we can check it really quickly. I don't think he's a double offense buffer. Yeah, strike, attack, and defense. The base form Gotenks here is your double offense buffer. So again, this Vegeta right here with his Z ability is going to be doing amazing things for your team, especially when you combine that with the Gotenks 20% to all health of the Fusion Warriors. So again, this team probably the best in terms of raw stats and just powerful characters. Keep that in mind. It's a very defensive, very powerful team. Moving on to the next team we're going to cover here. God Key, I honestly don't have the LF Vegeta or the Beerus, so I can't show you either one of those two builds for the ones that the pie charts are based around, or the graphs. But you would imagine this setup right here, but with the LF Vegeta instead of probably this yellow Vegeta right there. You'd swap him out, throw the LF Vegeta, and then you have your Vegeta version. And then if you're doing the Beerus, you would probably take out the Rosé, the yellow Vegeta here, and the Super Saiyan Kamehameha, or Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, sorry. Take those three out, replace with Beerus, and Whis. And that would be how you'd want to run that version right there. Both ones have their merits. Again, remember the Beerus version, more blast damage, more ranged, more poke, more utility, healing from Whis for the whole team, and his green card spam as well. With this team, with the LF Vegeta, you're going to be looking at just a strike damage and just damage output powerhouse of a team right there. Again, probably one of the best offensive, purely offensive teams you could run in LBR. Next up, San family is okay. The LF Goku from Namek down here, he's actually not been ruined by Battle System 2.1, but the rest of the characters on the team are a little bit lacking compared to some of the more powerful builds you can run. But there is no issues with running San family, you guys. It's still an extremely good team, just a little bit more quirky, requires you to play around these characters' unique mechanics and their ultimate arts, their counters. And again, it's just not one of the 5 we're covering, but as you can see here, something you could definitely be running as well. LOE next. You're going to want to run this exact build if at all possible. You'll get the maximum offense, defense, healing, and health restoration buffing that you possibly can. Now, if you don't have like the red transforming Frieza, you could run the metal cooler in his place, but there's not really anything else I would probably change for this team, you guys. You want it as close to identical to this as possible. Chilled is going to be helping the healing that the purple cooler and the red Frieza do. Of course, the blue cooler is like your leader for the team. Quite defensive at 14 stars and capable of doing good damage with the supporting swap buffs. The yellow Frieza is going to be your main way to deal with purple units, as well as the most defensive unit on the entire team because he does have the Endurance Immortality passive. And then the purple cooler and the red Frieza are both incredibly tanky as well. And then you have damage output out the booty hole with the green golden Frieza also. And great counter for any pesky blue units you run up against. You won't be bringing Chilled ever, but again, great on the bench for health and health restoration buffs. This team doesn't have very many defensive options, you guys, in terms of swaps or lock-ins or any type of utility that helps them survive longer. So it's mostly just offensive power from this team and just whatever defense you can get from their stats themselves, other than the endurance on the yellow Frieza. Movies here, this is the build that I'm running. You have color coverage for every color, except I don't have Tapion, so I'm missing that red coverage, but that's okay. He's, again, just more of like an optional character. You don't need him for this team to function. But, again, at 14 stars, having the Spirit Bomb absorbed Goku on here to be an amazing defensive unit is great. It'll give you defensive cover options, an amazingly powerful ult. Of course, Bojack has the best cover swapping in the game. We all know that already. Can swap into anything except for like taps and Rising Rush, and he'll completely negate it and set you up in advantage situations. The Vegeta, extremely powerful. Probably he'd be the one you'd lose if you had Tapion. Even though he's extremely powerful, he doesn't really contribute to the team, and you can get around not using him. Yellow Gohan, of course, has the most powerful lock-in and crazy stat swapping going on from defense to offense, and the Dragon Ball destroying and the transformation with, again, the lock-in. He's just one of the most annoying, best characters in the game at the moment. And then, of course, the 14 stars, purple Broly on bench to buff double attack Z ability buffs, and then the green Broly buffing double defenses. Then everybody else, except for the blue Vegeta, if you bring him, will be contributing Z abilities as well. Again, this team doesn't have very good defenses other than the Gohan before he transforms, and if you bring the Spirit Bomb absorbed Goku, outside of that, they've just got tons of utility options. So you're still not going to want to be taking tons of hits, but as long as you can find a way to mess up your opponent, lock them in, Rising Rush, do what you have to do, then this team is definitely one of the top tier teams that you could be running. And it's actually the one that you've probably seen me using in the footage from all of my runs today. So I did use up all 3 of my tickets, got 3 wins so far. One of them, the person just saw my team and straight up quit. I will probably try using the Fusions teams for my next 3 matches, which I will record those as well, you guys, and try and find a way to provide them for you. I do hope you enjoyed the information about Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Let me know how you feel about him down below. Let me know how your Battle Royale missions and fights are going as well down in the comments below. And any other questions or concerns you have, of course, feel free to let me know down there as well. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving it a thumbs up, help spread it out on YouTube. I appreciate each and every one of you guys who check out the videos on the channel. And if you're new here, consider subscribing so I can see you again on future videos. Next video will probably be tomorrow for more LBR matches and other assorted news and information we might get. Of course, I'll be keeping you updated about the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Baby Vegeta. Anything else, leave down in the comments, you guys. I'll be seeing you again soon. Peace out. Have a great day.